Pretoria, South Africa, a landscape of sprawling suburbs and endless sky, provided the backdrop for a quiet, often solitary childhood. While other children chased footballs or built forts, young Elon found his world within the pages of science fiction novels and the nascent glow of a computer screen. His mind was a restless engine, constantly pulling apart existing realities and reassembling them into something grander, something possible. It was a future he already inhabited in his imagination. One scorching afternoon, sprawled beneath a wilting jacaranda tree, the young boy meticulously sketched diagrams in a worn notebook. His classmate, Thandi, sauntered over, a half-eaten mango in hand. "Still drawing rockets, Elon?" she asked, a familiar tease in her voice. He barely looked up, his brow furrowed in concentration. "Not just rockets, Thandi. These are propulsion systems. Ways to get to Mars, maybe even beyond." He gestured with a smudged finger. "See here, if we could harness the energy from—" Thandi crinkled her nose. "Mars? You really think people will live there?" He finally met her gaze, his eyes intense. "It's not a matter of if, Thandi, but when. Someone has to build the way. Someone has to make it happen." His conviction was absolute, even then. This relentless curiosity and unshakable belief in the future, even when it seemed fantastical to others, would define him. Years passed, fueled by an insatiable appetite for learning and an almost obsessive dedication to understanding how things worked. At just 12, a pivotal moment arrived. He poured his imagination into basic code, crafting a space-themed video game he called Blastar. It was a simple top-down shooter pitting players against an alien fleet, yet it was a sophisticated creation for its time and for a boy of his age. The computing magazine, PC and Office Technology, saw its potential, publishing the code and paying him $500. $500. For a 12-year-old in 1984, it was a small fortune, but more importantly, it was validation. It was the first spark, a concrete proof that the complex worlds he built in his mind could manifest, could be shared, and could even have value in the real world. That initial transaction, the exchange of an idea for tangible reward, wasn't just about money, it was about the power of creation. The challenges were there, the isolation of being different, the deep dives into books and code while others played. But they only sharpened his resolve, forging a mind that saw not barriers, but blueprints for what could be.
Pretoria had given him a foundation, a crucible for an imagination already blazing with the conviction that the impossible could be made real. But South Africa, for all its beauty, felt too small for the grand designs fermenting in his mind. At 17, with a spirit as restless as it was resolute, the young Elon made an audacious leap, leaving the continent of his birth alone, bound for the crisp air and academic promise of Canada. It was a journey into the unknown, a solitary odyssey fueled by an unshakable belief that his destiny lay beyond familiar horizons. He navigated the halls of Queen's University, then transferred to the University of Pennsylvania, pursuing dual degrees in physics and economics. Yet even as he devoured knowledge, the conventional path felt increasingly confining. The urge to build, to create, to manifest the future rather than merely study it gnawed at him. One evening, after a particularly dry lecture, he found himself explaining his burgeoning disquiet to a fellow student, Alex. "Are you serious, Elon? You're giving up a scholarship? 2 degrees almost in hand for what exactly?" Alex asked, his brow furrowed with concern. "Most people would kill for this opportunity." Elon turned, his gaze distant but focused. "For the future, Alex. For building it, not just studying it in textbooks. This feels like treading water when I know there's an ocean to cross." The academic world, despite its prestige, became a gilded cage. He dropped out, propelled by an almost visceral need to bring his visions to life. With his younger brother, Kimball, he set his sights on Silicon Valley, a place synonymous with innovation and boundless ambition. They arrived with little more than a shared dream and an unyielding work ethic. Their first venture, Zip2, was born from this scarcity and shared vision. They saw a future where businesses connected directly with customers through the burgeoning internet, a kind of online city guide for the then analog world of newspapers. The early days were a blur of ramen noodles, late nights spent coding in a cramped rented office, and the constant hum of a developing concept. "It's tight, brother. Ramen noodles again tonight," Kimball would often ask, a wry smile playing on his lips as he watched Elon hunch over a keyboard consumed by lines of code. Elon, without looking up, would simply nod. "It's fuel, Kimball. Fuel for a company that will change how businesses connect. We're building the infrastructure of the future, one bite at a time." This was the first true forging of his entrepreneurial spirit, a relentless pursuit of a grand idea powered by sheer will and a deep, shared conviction with his brother. It was a nascent step, a bold, audacious leap that would define the trajectory of a man determined to reshape the world.
After the relentless ramen-fueled nights and the endless pitching, a breakthrough for Zip2 finally arrived. The online city guide, a pioneering vision for the internet age, began to find its footing. Businesses, initially skeptical, started to see the value in an online presence powered by the Musk brothers' software. The tide turned, slowly at first, then with accelerating force. Then came the call that would change everything. It was 1999. Compaq, a computing giant, offered an astonishing sum for Zip2. "Can you believe it, Elon?" Kimball exclaimed, pacing their small office, a wide grin plastered across his face. "All those sleepless nights, the arguments, the times we almost ran out of cash, they actually paid off." Elon, though visibly relieved, simply nodded, a glint in his eyes betraying a deeper, unquenchable fire. "Paid off, yes, but this is just the beginning, Kimball. A single step on a much longer journey." The acquisition made Elon a multi-millionaire overnight, transforming him from a struggling entrepreneur sleeping on office couches into a significant player in the burgeoning Silicon Valley scene. Most would have celebrated for months, perhaps years. Elon, however, was already restless. Before the ink was even dry on the Zip2 papers, Elon was already sketching out his next grand vision, a revolutionary online bank called X.com. He saw a future where money moved as freely and instantly as information, a concept that felt utterly audacious at the turn of the millennium. The venture quickly merged with Confinity, a company that was developing its own payment service, PayPal. The journey was fraught with internal battles, technological hurdles, and fierce competition, but Elon's conviction never wavered. He pushed, he challenged, he demanded. One evening, after another grueling board meeting, a key developer named Sarah approached him, her face etched with exhaustion. "Elon, are you sure about this? We've just navigated a minefield with the X.com merger, and now you want to push even harder on this PayPal idea? We're burning through cash, and the market is brutal." Elon turned, his gaze intense. "Sarah, this isn't about pushing harder. It's about seeing the future. This is how money will move. We are building the financial backbone of the internet. There's no time for hesitation." His relentless drive eventually paid off again. In 2002, eBay acquired PayPal for a staggering $1.5 billion. Elon's personal share cemented his status as a formidable force in technology. From his first $500 game to these multi-million-dollar sales, the pattern was clear. Success tasted sweet, but for Elon, it was merely fuel. It didn't satiate his ambition. It amplified it, pointing him towards even grander, more audacious challenges that lay beyond the confines of the internet. With the PayPal millions in his bank account, Elon Musk could have comfortably retired or invested in safer, less audacious ventures. Instead, his gaze was fixed on the stars and the future of sustainable transport. His fortune, painstakingly built, was now poured entirely into two monumental, almost absurdly risky companies, SpaceX and Tesla. The stakes were astronomical, the capital required, immense. For SpaceX, the dream of affordable space travel began with the Falcon 1 rocket, but its initial flights were a series of devastating blows. 3 times Falcon 1 had soared from the Kwajalein Atoll, and 3 times it had failed to reach orbit. Each explosion was a gut punch, not just to the team's morale, but to Elon's rapidly diminishing personal wealth. After the third failure in August 2008, the company was teetering. "We don't have much left, Liana," Elon admitted, his voice hoarse, staring at the shattered remains of their hopes on a large monitor. Liana Petrova, SpaceX's brilliant propulsion engineer, stood beside him, her face smudged with exhaustion. This is everything." Liana nodded slowly, her eyes still scanning the telemetry. "I know, Elon, but we learn. We always learn. The pressure anomaly on the second stage. We have a fix." "Learning costs millions we no longer have," he retorted, running his hand through his hair. "One more launch. That's all we can afford. One more try, or we're done." Meanwhile, Tesla wasn't a sleek, smooth ride either. The production of the revolutionary Roadster was plagued with delays and technical hurdles, burning through cash at an alarming rate. It was a vicious cycle. Delays meant more costs meant more desperate searches for funding. The global financial crisis of 2008 then swept in like a tsunami, drying up capital markets and leaving both companies gasping for air. Elon was pouring every last cent, selling off personal possessions, borrowing from friends just to keep the lights on. He was down to his last few million, barely enough to sustain operations for weeks. "Arthur, please," Elon pleaded into the phone one frantic afternoon. Arthur Vance, an early, loyal investor, listened on the other end, his usual enthusiasm replaced by a weary pragmatism. "One more week, just one more week, and we can secure the next round. Both companies they're breathing their last." "Arthur, everyone is pulling back. The market is in free fall. What makes you think you're different? You're asking me to throw good money after bad and into two companies on the verge of collapse." But then, against all odds, in September 2008, on its 4th attempt, Falcon 1 finally reached orbit, a collective gasp of relief, a moment of triumph snatched from the jaws of despair. Just days later, as the Christmas deadline loomed and his personal funds were completely depleted, a crucial funding round for Tesla closed. It was a double miracle, pulled from the absolute brink, validating his impossible vision and setting the stage for everything that would follow. The air had finally cleared after the storm. The harrowing near collapse of 2008, the 3 failed SpaceX launches, the razor-thin margins at Tesla, these were no longer existential threats but battle scars, badges of hard-won experience. The successful 4th launch of the Falcon 1, the crucial government contracts, and Tesla's tenacious push through production hell had laid the groundwork. Then came the true inflection points. Tesla Motors went public in 2010, a defiant middle finger to every analyst who had scoffed at the idea of an electric car company succeeding. Its stock, initially met with skepticism, began a steady, then accelerating climb. Meanwhile, SpaceX, having proven its mettle, secured lucrative contracts, culminating in the historic 2012 Dragon mission, becoming the first private company to dock with the International Space Station. It was in the quiet hum of his office, overlooking the vast expanse of Los Angeles, that the news truly sank in for Elon. His longtime financial advisor, Ilara Vance, a woman whose calm demeanor belied a steel-trapped mind, stood before him, a tablet clutched in her hand. "The numbers are in, Elon," she said, her voice soft but firm. "With Tesla's current market cap and SpaceX's latest valuation, Factoring in the Series G investment, you've officially crossed the threshold. She offered a rare, almost imperceptible smile. A billionaire, against all odds. Elon leaned back, a faint smile touching his lips. He wasn't one for grand celebrations, but the weight of the moment was undeniable. I remember the calls, Ilara, the articles, the talking heads. Musk is a fool, burning his PayPal millions on pipe dreams. He'll lose everything. You never said a word, just kept crunching the numbers. Ilara chuckled. Some of us see beyond the quarterly reports, Elon. We saw the grit. We saw the vision. Do you remember when that journalist, Marcus Thorne, wrote that scathing piece after the third rocket failure? He called it Musk's folly. Oh, I remember Marcus, Elon replied, a flicker of amusement in his eyes. I was convinced I was heading for spectacular ruin. I wonder what he's writing now. The path was irrevocably altered. The billions weren't just personal wealth, they were validation, fuel for the furnace of ambition. This wasn't merely about personal riches, it was the accumulation of resources, the power to accelerate humanity's journey to the stars, to sustainable energy, to the very future he had always envisioned. The skeptics were silenced, not by argument, but by indisputable, tangible success. The era of surviving was over. The billionaire era, where grand visions could finally be fully unleashed, had truly begun.
The triumphs of the Dragon mission and Tesla's market debut had validated a vision once dismissed as folly, bestowing upon Elon Musk the resources to finally accelerate his grand ambitions. But what followed wasn't mere growth, it was an explosion. Tesla, once teetering on the brink, surged with a velocity that stunned financial markets. Its stock became a sensation, propelled by innovation, brand loyalty, and an unwavering belief in an electric future. "Did you see Tesla's numbers today?" Mark exclaimed, his eyes wide as he scrolled through his tablet, showing the screen to his friend. "It's just insane, Anna. Another record high, defying every analyst who called it a bubble." Anna, a seasoned financial commentator, leaned in, a thoughtful frown on her face. "Insane is an understatement, Mark. We've been tracking it, of course, but the sheer velocity of this growth, it defies conventional metrics. It's no longer just a car company, it's a technology and energy powerhouse." As Tesla's market capitalization soared past industry giants, SpaceX, operating with less public fanfare but equal ambition, quietly secured its own stratospheric valuation. Government contracts for its reliable launch services piled up, while Starlink's satellite internet constellation began to rapidly deploy, promising global connectivity from low Earth orbit. The development of Starship, a fully reusable interplanetary transport system, captured the imagination of millions and the serious attention of investors. And SpaceX? Mark continued, his voice barely a whisper of awe. Starship, Starlink, the private valuation is astronomical. They're talking about valuations in the hundreds of billions now. Anna nodded slowly, her expression a mix of professional analysis and personal astonishment. Indeed, when we were discussing his IPO and the Dragon mission just a few short years back, who could have truly predicted this magnitude? It's not just about selling cars or launching rockets anymore. It's about establishing market dominance and fundamentally rewriting industrial playbooks. This parallel ascent transformed not just the companies, but the man behind them. The dizzying valuations of Tesla and SpaceX propelled Elon Musk's personal wealth to unprecedented heights, solidifying his status as a singular global innovator. He transcended the realm of mere entrepreneur, becoming a visionary whose every move sent ripples across industries and economies. The headlines soon confirmed what many already suspected. Elon Musk was now definitively the richest person on Earth. He's literally redefining wealth, isn't he? Mark mused, looking up from his tablet.
They're saying he's the richest person on Earth? It's almost unbelievable. Anna simply nodded, a quiet affirmation of a truly extraordinary journey. A testament to relentless vision, I suppose, and a willingness to bet everything, multiple times over. A gamble that paid off beyond anyone's wildest dreams.
Having scaled unimaginable heights, becoming the world's wealthiest individual and a titan of industry, most would have sought a moment of quiet reflection, a respite from the relentless pursuit of the impossible. But for Elon Musk, the summit was merely a new vantage point from which to scout the next, even more formidable peak. His gaze, famously fixed on Mars, momentarily pivoted, not to the stars, but to a vast, turbulent digital landscape: Twitter. The controversial acquisition of the social media giant, swiftly rebranded as X, sent shockwaves across the globe, a move as audacious as it was bewildering to many. Ben, are you still convinced this Twitter acquisition, this X rebranding, is a genius move? Asked Eleanor Vance, a veteran tech journalist, her brow furrowed as she scrolled through the latest market reports. The market is practically having an aneurysm, and the headlines are brutal. It feels like he's inviting chaos. Ben Carter, a venture capitalist who had witnessed Musk's journey from its precarious beginnings, leaned back, a knowing glint in his eyes. Genius? Perhaps, Eleanor. Or perhaps a calculated chaos. The man thrives in the eye of a storm. Remember the early days of Tesla and SpaceX? Everyone thought he was mad. But look where we are now. He's taking a proven platform, albeit a troubled one, and attempting to reinvent it on the fly. It's a bold, incredibly risky play, but risk is his currency. The transition was anything but smooth. Advertising revenues plummeted, key personnel departed, and the platform itself grappled with the tumultuous changes. Market fluctuations mirrored the platform's instability as investors tried to reconcile this new, unpredictable venture with the seemingly bulletproof successes of Tesla and SpaceX. Critics, once cautiously admiring, now openly questioned his judgment, seeing a self-inflicted wound where others saw a visionary, albeit unorthodox, transformation. But the sheer scale of the disruption, the ad exodus, the layoffs, Eleanor pressed, her voice edged with concern. It feels different this time, more personal, less about physics and rockets, and more about social engineering. Is this just ego? Ben shook his head. It's certainly a different beast, but the vision remains. An everything app, a digital town square that transcends mere tweets. He's not just acquiring a company, he's acquiring a global stage, and he intends to build the entire theater around it. While the world watches his every move on X, he's still pouring billions into Starship, still pushing neural implants, still revolutionizing energy storage with his other ventures. The man simply cannot be contained by conventional boundaries or past successes. This, for him, is just another frontier to conquer, another complex problem to solve, even if the solution looks like a tornado right now. Indeed, amidst the storm surrounding X, Musk's relentless drive remained undiminished. His companies continued to push the boundaries of innovation, from the gargantuan Starship's iterative test flights towards Mars to the subtle yet profound advancements in AI and sustainable energy. The challenges were immense, the criticism louder than ever, but for Musk, these were merely stepping stones, fueling the unstoppable engine of a vision fixed firmly on humanity's most ambitious future.